Hey YouTube. Hey, I got my latest rifle build here in front of me. I wanted to do basically a 308 AR and decided that I'd put a little spin on it, so I'm going to build basically a 308 platform with a 243 barrel. So let's dive in. I'll show you what parts I plan on using. I'm using a DPMS LR308 lower. I bought this complete lower back in October, like 8 months ago, and I've slowly been collecting the parts to build this ever since. So this is just a standard complete lower that I bought. I did put a different trigger in it that's just one that's hand polished. Later I plan on actually putting in a nice 3.5 pound trigger in this gun. I plan on trying a two-stage trigger this time. I've got single stage triggers in my other guns. I'm going to try a two-stage trigger, preferably later in this gun. I decided to go with Guntec for a lot of my other parts. Guntec is a company that is out of, I believe, Scottsdale, Arizona. They're USA made AR-15 and 308 AR parts. They do make what they call a low profile upper receiver, which is made to match the DPMS lower receiver. There's a little bit of differences in different companies. A lot of people go with Aero Precision. Aero Precision is a high profile that you need to go with. It has for your upper receiver, for everything to match up. So the Guntec is made to match up to the actual DPMS profile. So I got a Guntec upper receiver. This is a Guntec 308 bolt carrier group. I've got their charging handle, and then I've got a 15-inch free float forearm that has the key mod attachments. The only thing different about the Guntec is that this forearm comes with its own proprietary barrel nut, and you need to buy a Guntec wrench to fit it, or you can get a crow's foot wrench, but the problem is you're going to have to grind it down so that it's narrow enough to fit the slots on the barrel nut. So I just went ahead and bought the Guntec wrench so I didn't have to try to modify a normal crow's foot wrench. Then it comes with these, it comes with a bunch of shims, and basically you put those on your barrel and then tighten your barrel nut against them, and then you can remove a shim if you need to adjust the timing of the barrel nut so that you can put your forearm and match it to your upper receiver and get everything lined up. So the shims are there just to help you get everything aligned properly. But that's what I ended up going with, Guntec parts. Only issues that I've had is I think a lot of this anodized coating is on pretty thick. So the first time I put the pins in, I basically had to punch them in there, and then now I can push them in by hand. I still about got to tap on them with a punch just to get them out. So they're very tight fitting pins. There is no slop in the pins. Some cases I've read where upper receivers like to rock a little bit or have a little bit of slop in them. This is a very tight fitment. The threads for the barrel nut, you couldn't get the barrel nut to actually go on. I had to take a little Dremel with one of the little buffing wheels and just kind of go around the threads a couple passes just to kind of knock off some of the anodized coating, because it was just on there too thick, and then the barrel nut basically it threaded on just fine after that. So I think the anodized coating's on a little bit heavy, but everything's a very tight fitment. So right now, just here on the bench, I've been pretty happy with the way the Guntec parts have turned out. The barrel, I custom ordered this barrel, so it took quite a few weeks. I can't remember how many weeks it took. I'm thinking around the 15-week period to get this barrel. I ordered it from Excalibur. I believe they're out of Montana, and this is a stainless steel barrel. It has a 1 in 8 twist. which is a faster twist than most factory barrels, and for 243 Winchester. So this is made to fire basically the heavy 105 grain AMAXs or 107 grain Sierras. So it's made to shoot the heavy bullets. Basically this is so you can do some long distance shooting with it. So this is just what I picked, and because that's what I wanted to try to play around with. So the other parts that I bought for this build is I bought one Magpul magazine so that I can try that out. I've heard mixed reviews on these for the so I'm gonna try it out, see how it does. I've got a YMH low profile gas block. I've used these on a few builds and no problems. I got a Badger Ordnance tactical latch. I'm gonna put that on the charging handle. That way a lot better, easier to grab, especially having a scope on the rifle. And then I've got this is another YMH part. That is a 308 flash hider. I may go ahead and put a muzzle brake on this later. We'll just have to wait and see. And this is I think it's just a Delton, maybe a DPMS, I'm not for sure. This is just a regular rifle length gas tube. So the two things that I'm kind of missing is a good trigger. I'd like to put a 2-stage trigger in this later and try that out. I've got single stages. I'd like to try a 2-stage and see if I like it. And then I don't have a good scope yet. I'd like to have a good probably 3 to 15 scope, variable scope to put on this. And for right now I'm going to go ahead and use this Nikon P223 scope. I think it's a 3 to 9 power. And I'm just going to use that for the meanwhile until I can afford to get myself a better scope. Okay, I'm going to start slapping this thing together. I'm not going to go over in the video on how to put this together. I am not a gunsmith. I am just an avid shooter who likes to do my own builds. So this is kind of a hobby of mine, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put this together, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. There's the complete rifle. One thing I forgot to mention is that this barrel is a 22-inch long barrel. It's a heavy profile. So this is the longest barrel that I have on an AR platform. I'm pretty happy with the way the Guntec parts fit together. I did have to remove one of the shims to get the timing right for the forearm. The upper, very tight fit to the lower, but that's a good thing, I think. I still plan on replacing the scope. I plan on replacing the stock maybe, and possibly the grip, and I plan on replacing the trigger with a 2-stage trigger, I think, this time. But overall the gun it's ready to shoot. So so this has been 8 months trying to get this thing all together. So now I just can't wait to get it out this weekend and try it out. Thanks for watching. Decided to put it on a scale. 11 pounds, 2 ounces. Unloaded.